Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. We are in today for a push session. Not documented this one on the YouTube. I don't have my mic on me just now. I say just now, I don't have my mic at all. I lost it in the leg video done with Leo. Maybe it was just raging that I beat him in the leg session and they stole my mic and stomped on it or something, but I can't find it. Hoping that you can hear me alright. I do have my old mics charged and I found them. I've got them charging here. So I'm hoping that they'll be able to work. I've not tried that with the DJI Osmo, and maybe I'll find my DJI Osmo mic, we'll see. But push session to go through that. It's post-Christmas, so I'm a big, heavy, fat mess. No, I'm up 1.3 kg, I believe, which isn't a crazy deal, a massive amount, not anything to be worried about at all. And if anyone's watching this and they put on a little bit of weight after Christmas, like a small amount, and it sounds, all you need to do is just hold for a little bit more, instead of trying to push on with more rate of gain. You know, if you're planning to gain 3 kg over 3 months and you gain 1.5 kg in the space of maybe 2 weeks, all you need to do is just slow down the rate of gain for the other months, you're good to go. So yeah, keeping the rate of gain a little bit slower until we're kind of at where we want to be with the body weight and then pushing on from there. A good amount of fullness has come to my physique though from that. I was staying at 76.5 to 77 kg for quite some time after the diet, and I wasn't increasing in fullness. I could feel a little bit better, but I still looked pretty flat, pretty slim, and I wasn't happy with the look. Much happier now. I've not lost a massive amount of conditioning due to that body weight gain. It was just Christmas dinner, pudding, and then a Domino's unboxing day. A few other wee social occasions, meals around that have meant my body weight's up a little bit, but I've been out of routine, having different food sources. Your sodium intake's going to be higher with poorer quality foods. You're going to be holding on to more water. As you get back into routine, as I am now, things will start to settle down. I did see low 77s as well. Body weight's fluctuating just because things aren't as they normally would be with different meals here and there. So nothing to be worrying about. But again, when I am heavier, like I'm 78.1 kg this morning, I'm thinking to myself, this session I best be fucking progressing. Otherwise I'm just fat and I'm not actually getting any bigger or stronger. You know, people probably say, oh, that's unhealthy, you can't think of it that way. Then that's an eating disorder. Shut up. I'm heavy now, so I'm going to be strong. That's my mindset. And if I don't progress today, I'm like, what the fuck was the point in that weight gain? You're just getting fat. So I need to prove to myself, here we go then. I'm going to put this to good use and build some good muscle from it. Putting the food to good use. I always say that to my clients, that I kind of way to flip it and make it a little bit more positive. Now, don't go binge and just eat everything that you want. Be like, yeah, it's just for my training confidence. Get fucked. You know, it's for people that have maybe just gained a little bit of weight and they're like, oh, I don't like that because it's not to my standards. Instead, look at it as, right, I need to progress here, and I will progress here. I've got some more confidence behind me, I get a little bit more body weight. So that's what today's going to be about. This push session, I've got a lateral raise, incline press, flat press, shoulder press, and then I can't do a pec deck just because my shoulder's a little bit wonky and dodgy. So I'm going to do a set of a decline press. Finn's just put this in, so a set of a decline press, and I think there's maybe a rest pause or my rep match set. There's something along there, so we'll see how that goes, and then 2 tricep extensions. So push session, then it'll be Q&A afterwards, as you'll have seen from the title. I'll do some of the Q&A questions in the car on the way home, and then if I don't get all of them done there, I will do them once I get back to the house. So another good video upcoming. I'm heading to Pit Stop Nutrition as well, just before I actually go to the gym. So maybe document that, show you Pit Stop, the shop, and then go through a wee haul, Pit Stop haul, with my supplements. I did mean to pick them up 2 weeks ago and they've been sat there because I forgot about them. I meant to get it the first time, didn't get to do it because there was extra stuff on, and then entirely forgot about it because I was too busy running about like a headless chicken trying to get Christmas presents. So yeah, get that order, head off to Train Push, and let's get it. We are outside Pit Stop Nutrition. I'm going to show you where it actually is because I remember being hella confused. So this is Morris Park, literally right off the motorway over there. Morris Park, you come in through the main section here. I've just parked behind me. Roadway 4, it says. Pit Stop Nutrition is in here. You'll see in a wee second. DJI's good. I think when I dropped it in that pile of shite in Madeira, it's just messed up. But you have Pit Stop Nutrition and you have Big Brad here.
Big dog.
Hello, hello. Pit Stop Nutrition for the YouTube channel.
Hello.
Say hello. Hello everyone. You want to just take over the video? You go Train Push?
I'll Train Push, that's fine.
Yeah, you take over. Just wanted to show the people what heaven looks like in supplement form. Beautiful. So, Pit Stop haul. Let's do it. MPS Max, so an EAA of the highest caliber and quality. Is the most expensive one, but it's the most complete panel. Tastes like absolute ass cheeks, just as all EAAs do. So if you are going to get an EAA, be prepared for it to taste like ass. It's not that it's a bad flavour, they all just taste like shit. This is strawberry and pineapple. This is again for spiking muscle protein synthesis during your training if you've got a relatively decent gap. Oh, there's a big giant truck coming out in front of me. I'm going to take ages. Puts a pretty much spike muscle protein synthesis in between your pre-meal and your post-meal, especially if you train relatively far away, if there's a big gap between your meals, and for hydration during your session as well. Rise and Shine. This is for your energy, your hydration, and your focus in the mornings. This has got 50 milligrams of slow releasing caffeine, so it helps with your energy without making you anxious. I really struggle with feeling very anxious, jittery, and a bit just like fucked from caffeine. It doesn't actually help my performance, it helps my focus when I have too much of it. So 50 milligrams of slow releasing caffeine is perfect for me. This has nootropics in it as well, which help you focus. It's what they put in pre-workouts to help with your focus. So first thing in the morning, you know, you've got energy, you get focus, and mainly hydration. You go to sleep, you sleep for 8 hours, hopefully, if you're sleeping well. 8 hours, you've not drank a lick of water throughout the night, you're going to be severely dehydrated upon wake. So it's not enough just to drink water to try and get that back in. You need electrolytes. So electrolytes in here, a really good hydration panel. So this is like your all-rounder for the mornings. I'm not just saying this to be like, oh yeah, go buy it, it's Pit Stop Nutrition product. It's really fucking good. I would be a little bit lost without Rise and Shine. So yeah, Rise and Shine there. Proven. There you go. I've got the fruits flavour. It's Vimto. I fucking love Vimto. As a kid, I don't know about anyone out there if they can agree with me on this, but Vimto flavoured stuff was the absolute best. The Vimto wee curly fizzy roll thing, banging. Vimto Chewits, banging. Vimto bonbons, banging. Vimto's the best flavour, and that legit just tastes like a Vimto flavoured sweet. Flavour is really good, but the actual effectiveness of the product is why I buy it realistically. And that's a non-stim pre-workout, so it helps you focus, it helps you get a better pump. It actually does feel like the effect of having a little bit more energy without caffeine. Non-stim means no caffeine. Caffeine takes away from your sleep massively if you're having it, especially within like 8 hours of sleeping. So if I'm ever training kind of like late afternoon, like I'm just now, I'm training, I have to. I don't have any caffeine because within 8 hours I want to be sleeping from now. And you don't need to rely on caffeine. Like I say this quite a lot to my clients. Like, you're not the type of person that needs to rely on caffeine. The people, I don't know if any of you have ever worked in retail, if you currently work in retail, or just like a normal job in general, there's the guy that rocks up with 2 hours of sleep, has a packet of crisps in the morning, maybe some random chocolate bar at the vending machine for lunch. They need caffeine because they're absolutely fucked. They're not feeling their bodies at all, they're not sleeping very well. They need caffeine to give themselves some energy because they're not doing it naturally. But anyone that looks after their sleep, that eats well, 4 or 5 nutritious meals per day, and again recovers well, trains hard, like all this stuff, looks after your body, good testosterone production, you don't need loads of caffeine. You don't need to be relying on a Monster every day, you don't need to be relying on pre-workout. And again, your recovery, your sleep and everything will get significantly better if you're not abusing that. So if you are having multiple Monsters, even a Monster every day, like, you don't need that either. It's also so expensive. Something that I came to the realisation of. In prep, I feel like I needed it quite a lot because I was fucking cooked. So I was having a Monster every day, but as I started to come out of it, I was like, I don't really need this caffeine to do it. I'm just not being greedy, but you know, it's just like, oh, I'll have the caffeine because it's part of my day. Really don't need it that much, and that's why I have a non-stim pre-workout, because I don't really need that caffeine. I'll have maybe like a half scoop of defib, so that is I say a half scoop of a half scoop technically. I'll have 100 milligrams of caffeine from that. That's more than enough to give me a wee kick. You know, if you don't have caffeine too much, if you don't rip the arse out of it, 100 milligrams is actually more than enough. If you're having 300 milligrams of caffeine and it's not touching the sides, something is wrong. Get yourself or get your head checked out. You don't need to get yourself checked out. Get your head checked out. Stop abusing caffeine. And that's that. Oh, also, if you do want to actually pick any of these up, Pit Stop Nutrition, I don't know if it's pitstopnutrition.co.uk or .com, whatever it is, get it there with code JOSH10. Obviously supports me, helps me, but supports Pit Stop, you know, like an actual local brand. And Neil, who owns it, Neil and Suze, both absolute heroes. I'd much rather see the business go to them than like a big company for all this other stuff. And also you can get it in store at Rutherglen. You obviously just seen the store there. So yeah, that's all, and let's get into push. Turns out the mic that I was planning to use just doesn't work, the DJI at all. So I'm going to prepare you for some terrible audio or just a wee training montage. I don't know what will be the best option. If it's too loud and you can't hear me, maybe a wee cold training montage, or I might do like a wee voice note over. We'll see what happens. But don't know how well you can see that. It's fucking freezing outside. Get in, get a good pump. Let's go. Right, voiceover. Let's do our wee video actually. I don't know how on earth to do it on the laptop, so on my phone. Let's go. The lateral raise on this Gymlyko one, bit of a strange machine, gets like super light up in that top position, up in the short range, and it's very heavy down in the bottom to the mid. Not massively against it, to be fair. There is handles that you can hold on to. I prefer to just have my hands down by my side. I think about doing this as like a dumbbell lateral raise. I get more through my delts through doing that. If I hold the handles, I end up kind of shrugging up, and then I'm doing like a wee chicken wing thing here. I just get a lot more from keeping my hands by my sides. The hammer strength incline press, a good bit of aggression, to get it going, because it is pretty heavy at that bottom position. But mainly here, I'm thinking about getting the inside of the elbows to come together up in that top contracted position. My chest is fucking shit, so trying to actually get a good internal feel here is important. Not trying to like overly puff out the chest. Thinking about keeping that a little bit more kind of neutral instead of, you know, ribs like so. It takes away from how much you can actually lengthen the pecs. It keeps everything in a better, more standardised position. So incline press there. This Gymlyko press is also very light. I believe this is the stack for maybe 8 or 9 reps. I want to get this for a good 12 plus. That'd be nice, but it is my second press directly after that hammer strength one, which also gets very heavy in the short. This one is the same as well. Hard to grind out reps on this. But there's nothing I really need to cover here, to be fair. I'm thinking of the same cues, thinking of keeping my chest and again in a neutral position. You see here that it's not overly extended and puffed out the way. So that's your chest press. Onto the Cybex shoulder press. So I was actually stronger at this when I was 17 years old. I remember doing 5 plates on it. It must have been a horrendous set. I think I got 3 reps leaving the range of motion. So I'm chasing down 5 plates to get back to my 17-year-old strength. It's fucking atrocious, that, isn't it? But again, nothing really to mention here. Like full range of motion, making sure I'm bracing well on the way down, big deep breath in, be powerful, do as much as I can. Also very heavy in the short position there. You can see I struggled to get it fully there. Which is the annoying thing. Like a lot of these are really heavy in the short, and as you start to get through your pressing, you don't really want that because you're already struggling to actually get a contraction. Like you're dying out up in that short and contracted range, and then when the machine's heaviest there, it makes things a little bit more difficult. This Pinata press is nice. This is my new one that I was mentioning. So instead of doing a pec deck, I'm just doing one set of this with a rest pause. So a set extender. What I'm doing there is resting for 15 seconds and then going again. You'll only usually get 2 to 4 reps at most there. If your initial set is challenging, you know, if you're taking that all the way there. So here's me going through my rest period, lovely. But yeah, I think I only got 2 reps, or if anything like 1.5 here. But honestly, for the next 3 days, my chest was absolutely written off, fucking cooked. So yeah, that's definitely doing its job. And getting a little bit more stimulus, more blood to the chest, and I could feel it the next day, 100%. On to the final movements, the tricep stuff. So this is what you'll be here for, how to grow big triceps. Honestly, there's nothing special that I'm doing here. Like, triceps are my best body part. They don't really kind of fit with the rest of my physique, but it's genetics. Just like some people have massive legs and don't even train them that good. It's just genetics. I am being smart with tricep training here. You see here with a single arm tricep extension, do the single arm, lines up nicer, get a really good internal feel with it. I'm thinking about not letting the elbow move at all. So I'm not letting that kind of come forward as I come up into that extended position, and then bringing it back as I come down. I'm not skiing it as some people do. Keep the elbow fixed, extend down and not back. The overhead extension, I'm just doing the same thing here. A little bit more time spent in the stretch, like an overhead extension, to really kind of sit and marinate into that stretch position. So yeah, that covers that. Onto the posing, just a quick recap of where I'm at as well. So this was around 77 kg, I believe. This is now about a week after recording this video. I'm back down to 76.7, so I'm back down in body weight. And as I say, like, if you just get back onto your plan after Christmas, you know, before you know it, you're back down at the same body weight. So back to being pretty light again. I assume we'll be getting a food increase pretty soon. Things are still going smoothly, training's going well, food is coming up. So I'm excited for that and just ready to keep on gaining. Let's go. Right, we're done. Push session. Oh, what's the issue? My bag is so heavy that it thinks a person is sat in the passenger seat, sick. Right, I've lifted it up and we're good. The bag weighs like 5 kg. What 5 kg human sitting in that? Maybe it doesn't like if a baby's sat in it, I don't know. But we're back. Push session done. I apologise for not being able to talk through any of it. Like, I just knew the audio wasn't going to work. I did record every exercise though, which is cool. May have done a wee voice over, it might be a training montage, I don't know yet. Yet to decide, so hopefully you enjoyed whatever it was. Now, on to the Q&A. Looks nice and cosy in my car. To go on to the Q&A, first of all, a banger to start it off. Lewis Agnew sends a photo of Blastoise with a big fat belly. So thank you, Lewis, for the question. I don't quite have an answer to it, but a great question, thank you. Tyler Goff asks, what is the best part about prep on a day-to-day basis, not just the actual competing, the winning, the placing, whatever it may be. Best part, to be honest, like, looking fucking sick is really cool at the end of the day. You know, you do it for self-improvement and all this and that, but you wake up and you see ab veins and you're peeling out your minds, you take your check-in shots and you're like, holy fuck. You know, you're always pushing for more and you're never going to be like, oh, look absolutely amazing. I say you're never, you will be at certain points, but a lot of the time you'll be like, oh, I need to be leaner, I need to continue pushing, I need to do this and that, and you're worrying, but when you kind of take a moment to actually step back, you're like, fuck it, I look sick here, the leanest I've ever been, the best I've ever looked, and the challenge of it on a day-to-day basis is nice, like, you know, knowing that you've got a difficult day ahead of you, but you're in such a good rhythm and routine that it's like clockwork, you know, and you know that when you come to the end of the day, I've had a difficult day, it took a lot for me to literally even just move about here, but I've got all my steps and I've got my cardio done, I've had a good session, I've not bottled it, and I've done everything that I could. You know, that's a great feeling. I don't think there's genuinely much that comes close to that, especially when it comes to the end of a prep, knowing like, right, I have done everything that I could and I'm extremely proud of myself. There's not much that comes close to that. I have built up a business to 6 figures a year. I have made a life for myself that I thought was never possible. I drive a nice car, so on and so forth, stuff that I never thought I'd do, but none of it really compares to, you know, coming out of that prep when I didn't really even know much about bodybuilding beforehand, just fully immersing myself into it, doing everything that I could, obviously getting rewarded well for it, which is nice, but knowing that I've done everything that I could is, and that sounds cringy and it sounds like such a generic answer, like, oh, the placing doesn't matter, and it's just about the process, but it legit is, like, it feels so fucking good to just do shit and get shit done and have like a good result for it towards the end, knowing that you've got everything done and you've got into good condition, you've competed and you've done something that's extremely hard. A great feeling. So that's going to be mine there. Steps you took managing full-time work and still providing a good coaching service. So I've actually never had full-time work alongside like having a lot of clients. I've never even technically had full-time work. I've worked 16 to 32 hours a week in Curry's, so that was like 2 to 4 shifts a week. I'd done coaching throughout my last year of school, but just like kind of my mates and stuff. But managing coaching while at Curry's, so I had about 20 to 25 clients when I was doing 3 shifts a week at the end of Curry's before I quit. And I was like very scared to quit. I didn't know if I should or shouldn't, but I ended up just going for it. But when I was there doing that 3 times a week and then coaching, I simply put my check-ins on the days that I wasn't working. The difficult part was sometimes that would be different each week, but I knew my rough schedule. And then if it did happen that I changed shifts, or they changed shifts, sorry, and I couldn't really do anything about it, I'd just simply get the check-ins done on that day. Wake up earlier, I knew that it was coming. Your shifts are there in advance. Your shifts are 1 to 2 weeks in advance for part-time jobs, and you can work around that no matter what. Full-time, you obviously know your schedule. You know that you're going to be there, say 9 to 5, 8 to 4. Whatever it may be. If your hours are a little bit longer, so be it. But again, just work around your work there, in the sense that if you get work done beforehand, that's going to get you ahead of the day. You don't need to do as much when you get back in. Meal prep is obviously massive, and I'm sure the person that's asked this already does that. He's competed and is pretty serious about everything. But meal prepping your whole meals for the day in advance, and even multiple days, is really good, especially having that pre-workout meal. So let's say that you go and you train after work, having your pre-workout meal prepared already, munching that at the end of your shift, going straight to the gym pretty much, get a few steps in beforehand, but munch that meal straight to the gym, train back home, and then that means you've got, you also eat your post-workout meal on the drive home from the gym. It's a good tip. I don't know if it's entirely legal, but you either eat it on the drive home from the gym, or you eat it in the gym and then you drive home, and it means when you get home you've got nothing else to do but be able to just crack on with your work. That's something that I've been doing a lot recently, just because I've got a lot of startups for New Year. I've got like 10 plus clients starting up, and it's going to be very, very busy alongside kind of doing my usual work. But again, I'm just kind of taking steps and taking the actions that are needed to get that shit done. Simple. But yeah, make sure that you've got your check-ins placed on the days you don't work. If that is again a 9 to 5 Monday to Friday job, then just do all of the check-ins on the Saturday/Sunday. Yes, it means your weekends are busier, but you wake up at 5 AM, you get your check-ins done by 10 to 12 AM, depending on how many clients you've got, and bosh, you're done. Set aside time in the evenings or in the mornings, whether that's your morning walk, you go out for an hour's morning walk, and that is just dedicated to getting back to clients, messaging them, doing form feedback, prepping check-ins, whatever it may be, and also getting your steps in. You find out your own routine. Like, everyone is so different. Some people are morning people, some people prefer to stay up later at night. It solely depends on what you actually enjoy doing and what works well with you, but just working around that well. Right, next question. Did you get your bloods done post-prep? How long did it take to get you back to normal energy and libido-wise? So, my body, thankfully, I mean, it's a good and a bad thing. Like, I enjoy being in prep, and my body enjoys being in prep. If anything, I think my testosterone's fucking higher the leaner that I get. I got my bloods done 6 weeks post-prep, and I was at 18 nanomoles of test. When I got them done in my off-season, I was 15 nanomoles. So, yeah, like, I was actually in a better spot. Like, the leaner I am, that's kind of my genetic set point. When I was younger, I was always like very lean, didn't hold much body fat, and it's where my body likes being. When I push up and when I get heavier, my body doesn't like that. But I did still feel fucked, don't get me wrong. Like, even though my food stayed relatively high, and my bloods were pretty good, my penis did not work for quite some time. I had absolutely no desire to have sex at all, and I felt very, very low energy for months upon months. I got into stage condition about 12 weeks into prep, and it was a 32-week long prep. So that was 20 weeks of holding stage condition, and it really didn't start to take its toll towards the back end. My body was just done in. I would say I got back to normal about 3 months later, is when I felt like fully normal again. If anything, again, during prep, I honestly think I felt a little bit more productive and better, just because of the whole prep routine side of things. But after it, I did feel a little bit lost, because I don't have that same like intensity of everything. I kind of like turned that down a little bit, but then that made me feel strange, and I think that kind of played on my mind more than the actual hormone side of things. But my libido, my sex drive, my hormones and everything. Hormones I don't think were awful 6 weeks post-prep, but my libido, it took maybe a month to 2 months to properly get back to normal. So again, that's a highly individual thing. Like, not everyone's going to be the same there. I have clients who are like extremely low in testosterone after like long diets or preps. Some people are great. Let's take Petru for example. 30 weeks into prep, he got his bloods done, 19 nanomoles of test, I believe it was. It's like, what the fuck? One of my other clients, I won't name him, but he's 8 weeks post prep and has 1 nanomole of test. So everyone's so different, but if you get your bloods done, you can see what you need to supplement to actually make them better. If your testosterone's really low, really focusing on keeping that stress down, sleep quality, making sure you're not absolutely killing yourself when you're training, get that food bumped up a little bit more, make sure that body weight's in a good spot, you're not trying to stay too lean. There's loads of different stuff. Just speak to your coach about it if you do have one. Thoughts on heel raising on squat pattern movements. So I don't think it's a bad thing as long as you don't get any issues with it. If you start to notice any knee pain, if your patellas aren't liking it, if your shins aren't liking it, you know, your tibialis, you start to get kind of shin splints, pain through there, don't try and get them overly low. Get them as low as you can without ripping the piss. I don't think like literally going right up on your tippy toes is worth it. You lose a lot of power, like the surface area of your feet, you literally just don't have as much surface area, and you start to lose stability through the hips unless you've got a seatbelt around yourself, like on the hack squat, the pendulum. If you lift your heels up too much and you drive through the front of your feet, a lot of the time your hips will shift forwards, you lose stability, you can't get as much from it. So I would just find a nice middle ground. Again, that's different for everyone. Let's take Leo for example, who I was training legs with in the previous YouTube video. He has to get his feet a lot higher than I do, just because his knees can't take them being as low. But if you can do it without any issues, definitely don't be afraid of heel elevation. I feel like people are like, oh, I can't do that, I can't do that. But yeah, you'll be absolutely fine. It's going to create more knee flexion. One thing I will say, and I see this really, really often, is bouncing out the hole when having your feet really low and mashing your hamstrings against your calves, and you get fuck all quads from it. I've done it before, I've been guilty of it. A lot of my clients do it, and they're like, well, more range of motion is better, surely more knee flexion, this and that. No, even if you are creating more knee flexion, if you're going down to that bottom position without much control in the last 10 to 20% of the movement, and your hamstring is mashing against the back of your calf, and when you start to push back up, you kind of slingshot, bungee jump out that bottom position, rely on stretch reflex, you're not using your quads. You know, it's like doing a bench press, letting it sit here and then having a wee slingshot pushing you back out. Like it doesn't get you more out of your chest. So yeah, take that into account as well. When you get your feet really low, it's super easy to do that. So just, I actually think not going absolutely all the way down as to grass can be really helpful for getting more out of your quads. So that's the next question. How do I look as handsome as you? It's simply not possible. Sorry, I can't give you any advice on that. Kidding on, I'm 5'8". I've got a terrible, shitty little scruffy beard, not even beard, just like bum fluff around me. Definitely not high up on the handsome side, I would say. Thank you for the question, Lewis. I'd say you'd take it instead of me. Your favourite overall brand of gym equipment? It's a difficult one. Every brand has its own thing, its specialty. Cybex, you've got the hack squat. For Prime, really like the leg extension. Nautilus nitro presses I really like. Panata, I don't really like them. Pro Life just got Panata filled with it, and it's a massive downgrade to Cybex and Hammer Strength. I do like Hammer Strength. It gets really heavy in the short a lot of the time, but Hammer Strength's good as well. Trying to think what else we've got here. I'll definitely be missing some big brands. Cybex, Nautilus, Prime. Gymleco's good, but it's like a very, very hit or miss. Their hack squat's really nice, their hip press is really nice, their leg press is really nice. Pillory chest press is lovely as well, but like a lot of their accessory stuff is a bit dodgy. So I would say Cybex, to be honest. I think there's a lot of Cybex pieces that I really like, and it was in Pro Life when I started training there, and that's kind of the OG for me. Again, especially when you look at the hack squat, their OG leg press, their squat press, they've got some really nice plate loaded presses, the shoulder press is lovely. I would go with Cybex. Doesn't mean, by the way, I spoke about this to someone, like if you've got shit equipment, if you've got Matrix, if you get Techno Gym or something like that, it's not the end of the world. I know a lot of really high level natural bodybuilders that train in pure gyms, that train in Nuffield and stuff like that. I think it's a Nuffield one that Jordan Long and Richard Marks trains out of, and they're both like really high level bodybuilders, and they've just got like bang average equipment there. So don't worry if you've not got great equipment, you can still make a lot of progress on the average or shit stuff. Worst client / inquiry story? There's got to be a good few of them here. There was a Indian fella who was like, yeah, should I send the photos over now? I was like, yeah, mate, like I've sent the examples of the photos to send over. I would like to see front shots, side shots, rear shots, 2 from the front, 2 from the side, 2 from the rear, so I can, accurately assess your physique, your weak points, and everything from there. and he sent them over bollock naked. So that was mint. I thoroughly enjoyed that. He had his full ass and full bobby out, so that was great. Other stories, people just being cunts, like at the end of the day, people like ghosting you. Someone, I had messed up the payment, like when it was to come out, and it meant that it hadn't come out for the first one coaching for 3 weeks. And I was like, could you fire over that payment? And it just completely blanked me, and I was like, fuck you, like, so shit. You know, you put a lot of effort into people, especially in that first month. You know, you put a lot of effort into them to help them to really get them up on their feet, and then just fuck me off. So fuck you. So yeah, there's loads of like shit ones, but nothing absolutely crazy. During a bulk, do you increase calories only when performance stalls or before? So this is a interesting one. Like, you don't massively need more calories like when your performance stalls. If your body weight is going up, then you don't need more calories. Like, if your body weight's going up and your performance isn't great, doesn't mean you need more food. It's more so focusing on a slow rate of gain. So I usually aim for 1 kg per month. Rate of gain wise, so that's 0.25 kg per week, but more so it's just per month. 1 to 1.5 kg per month. It depends on the person as well. If you're very light, if you're very heavy, it kind of differs. 1 to 1.5% of your body weight is not a bad shout. So I weigh 75 kg or so just now, 78. So 1% is 7.5. 1.5% is 1.25. So 0.75 to 1.25 kg for myself would be the rate of gain. When your performance is stalling, I wouldn't be looking at like, alright, I need to increase foods or anything like that. If your body weight again especially is going up. If your body weight's going down, or if it's holding your performance is stalling, then yes, feel free to crack on and add some food in. But you know, body weight and foods and everything along that with performance, I wouldn't say food's your biggest thing. More so actually just getting performance going through either deloading, devolume, or giving yourself a good fucking knock on the head of, right, I need more intensity here, I need more oomph within my training, because that's what I'm missing. You know, like sometimes I've had moments or weeks where I've had stalling progress wise, performance wise. And it's literally just made me being a little bit of a bitch. You know, I just need to actually get some fucking aggression going about me again. I've been busy, I've been stressed, this and that, and I've kind of took the foot off the gas ever so slightly with my intensity when I'm training, or my intent and real like aggression. So making sure your aggression's there, deloading or devolume when you need to. Also maybe your volume might be too high to the point where you can't progress because you're just overloading it. But if your volume's not overly high, like again, I'd just be looking at deloading, devoluming. If you need to put more food in because your body weight's coming down, cool. But if it's not, and if it's coming up, don't touch your food. When did you start the gym and bodybuilding? Your physique is the best I've ever seen at your age. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's definitely not the best at my age. Being 21 now especially, I'm washed. There's a lot of people a lot bigger than me, leaning on me, much more impressive. But for myself, I started training at 15. Late end of 15 years old, I believe. It was lockdown. 2020, that seems so long ago thinking about it. It's like a different lifetime. Lockdown in 2020 is when I started training, so I would have been 15, I believe, at the time, but maybe 16. I'm not entirely sure because I'm 21 just now, 2020. Yeah, 15, 16. I trained in my house for like a good year. The gyms opened up like sometimes for a few weeks here and there, but I mainly trained out in my house. I had a squat rack and a bench rack with 2 cement buckets with like wooden poles coming out of them, so I could rack it for bench, so I could rack it for squats. I had a shitty 2.5 kg deadlift bar, or it's just bar in general, that I would bench with, squat with, deadlift with. I won the 24 kg dumbbells from Pro Life. Like, they raffled them off for people to have in their houses when it was locked down because they weren't doing anything with them. Won the 24 kg dumbbells, so I was doing lat rows, incline presses, overhead dumbbell extensions with that. Everything, like back in my home gym. That was great. That really built up the foundations. And then I've been training properly, I'd say now, for 3 years. I got my first coach middle of 2022, so yeah, I'd say 3 years, just over 3 years now that I've been training properly. If I were to run push pull legs, rest, upper lower, rests split in future, where would you put a deadlift and how often? Would it be every 1 week or every 2 weeks? I would do it in your pull session. That's how I usually run this. So push, pull, legs, upper, lower. I would also reorder it so that you can actually run a deadlift without running into any issues the day after. If it's push, pull and legs, then, you know, legs is the day after pull. if you deadlift there, your hamstrings and your lower back are going to be pretty cooked, meaning that when you go into your hamstring curls the next day, you're going to be a bit fucked. Your glutes are going to be a bit fucked too, so you'll struggle to hip thrust, even to squat, anything like that. Your lower back is going to be a bit dodgy, just again with like the erector DOMs, so you might struggle to squat, you might struggle to leg press, hip thrust, stuff like that. So I would reorder it, and this is really good for putting your most demanding session after the rest day, and that's legs, push, pull, rest, lower, upper, rest. So legs and lower are going to be your most difficult sessions, so you're going to be most fresh going into them. So that's why you'd run it there. And again, it means that pull and legs are separated. Legs, then pushes in the middle, then pull. By the time you get round to pull, you've got no issues. Like your hamstrings are a lot fresher from the leg session. You won't really feel much from that, and that's where I run it. So legs, push, pull, rest, lower, upper, rest. I would put a deadlift in your pull session, and then I would look at possibly running your hip thrust in either your leg session or your lower session as well, to get as much as you can from your glutes and your hamstrings. Everything else, I think that covers our questions for just now, to be honest. So that's a good amount. That's 19 minutes, and then there's a few bits in there where I was just yapping shite and going between questions. But hopefully all of that helps you a lot. And I will update you soon. No, actually, let's just wrap it up here. I've got nothing else to really record for tonight to show you guys. I showed you my rice pudding from last time. I definitely wanted to show you that because rice pudding's pretty goated. So yeah, thank you for tuning in once again. Please do like and subscribe. I've been getting a lot of good feedback on Instagram and in the comment sections for the YouTube, so I'm glad a lot of you are enjoying it. I am making this a weekly thing, and I will be on top of that through 2026. I stand by it. So yeah, push session for this week. Maybe a pull session for next week. I would like to run through all of the sessions, so it'd be pull and lower left, because I've done legs, I think. Yeah, it'd be pull and lower that's left after this, and then we can do some more funky video ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you all for watching. Like, subscribe, please do share in your story as well, turn on notifications, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.